Sagittarius, what's going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Sagittarius love reading. Today we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest here in November 2025. So let's get started. Let's get one card for what's the mutual point of interest between Sagittarius and their romantic person of interest here in November 2025. Let's get one card. Okay, let's get three for you. What's going on with you, Sagittarius? What's going on with Sagittarius as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them in November 2025? Let's get one more, please. What's going on, Sagittarius? All right. What is going on with your person, Saggy? Let's see what's going on with Sagittarius' romantic person of interest as it relates to Sagittarius and the connection between them in November 2025, please. Well, let's see. All right. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading is the High Priestess. This is she who knows. This is your intuition. This is gut feelings. This is signs, synchronicities, a dream that has a message in it. It's some form of internal knowing where you know something because you can feel it. You don't necessarily actually know it in this case. You don't necessarily have the facts. This is your intuition talking to you, trying to tell you something. The hard part about the intuition is 9 times out of 10, it's going to tell us some stuff we don't want to hear. It's going to tell us stuff that we don't want to be true. And because we don't have facts to support it in most cases, it's really hard for most people to listen to their internal knowing. Usually because it's telling us A, something we don't want to be true anyway, and B, we don't have the facts. But this is the internal knowing, right? Right behind that, I have the Lovers. This is the Gemini Major Arcana card. This is one of those cards that gets misrepresented a lot when you watch a lot of tarot on YouTube, especially TikTok too. Most people will try to tell you that the Lovers means twin flames or, some destined love connection, what is the term that they like to use? Divine counterparts, divine connection. All that stuff is complete BS. That's not what this card has ever meant. First of all, the divine aspect of that, like the divine is God or spirit or source or the universe or whatever particular term you prefer to use to describe that. A divine connection is your soul's connection to the divine. It's not a connection between two human beings. Divine counterparts, same difference there. Your soul and the divine are the divine counterparts, not two different people. The whole idea of twin flames didn't get made up until 1973, and it was invented by a literal doomsday cult leader named Elizabeth Clare Prophet. It's not real. It never has been real. The cards have never talked about twin flames before. I know a lot of readers say that, but it has not. The Rider-Waite Tarot deck, like I'm going to use to clarify here, that came out in 1908. Twin flames didn't get invented for 60 some more years. So we have some form of an internal knowing about what might feel like a really powerful connection. It might be a case where at some point this felt like the one. At its core, what the Lovers card is really about, a long time ago, it used to be called the Choice. So it represents the interconnectedness between people when they have a relationship, or even the interconnectedness between humanity itself. All the different people are on the same planet and our choices affect each other. And that's kind of what this card is about. Choices that this person makes are going to affect you and vice versa, and there's no way around that. It can also represent a choice about this connection or a choice between lovers. And we have some intuitive knowing related to that. Right behind it, we have King of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. This is usually husband type energy. Doesn't necessarily have to be like legally married husband. It could just be that you're viewing your person in the husband sense. Could be they actually were your husband, could be engaged. The King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles work together as equals to build the Ten of Pentacles, and that represents a combined together life, building a life together. So we've got one part of that equation. Maybe this is someone that you at some point imagined building a life with or were building a life with, but we have some intuitive knowing going on with something about them. That's the gist of what this is going to talk to me about. The choice about this connection, the choices affecting each other, and whatever it is that you're feeling and maybe not actually having facts to support. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in November 2025. It doesn't always affect you the same way. Sometimes this person will do this and you'll feel the consequences of it, or vice versa. Sometimes they'll say or do something and make you feel or act this way, or vice versa. Sometimes it's an external thing that's happening. But that mutual point of interest for the two of you in November 2025 is the Two of Cups. This is Cancer energy. This represents an emotional connection between two people, a love connection, but it's also a two. And in tarot, twos are about choices. So this is some sort of a choice, again, about this connection, or even a choice between two different connections. So I'm going to clarify that and see what else we can get here. Tell me more about the Two of Cups. Why is that the mutual point of interest between Sagittarius? Well, look at all the cards trying to get away from me all at once. That's usually a sign that there's a whole lot going on below the surface here. I have one flipped over in there. Let's get one more. This is kind of weird because so far it feels like I'm shuffling a lot just to get the cards to come out. That usually is a sign that someone is like holding on to something that they don't want to actually let out. Okay. Wow, we got a lot here. Normally I get 3 clarifiers. I just got 6 for this Two of Cups. What's underlying this Two of Cups is the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new physical opportunity presenting itself. This is not like an idea or a concept. This is an actual physical thing showing up, an opportunity presenting itself. Maybe an opportunity for this connection. Maybe a new physical opportunity as in a person shows up and now we've got a choice between connections. Could be a case of where you feel something fishy is going on with the new opportunity and a choice between lovers, a choice between connections. And it would look like that's related to your person. Damn, right below that is the Two of Wands, which is an energy, again, of a choice. But that's more of a choice about what do I want? What do I want my life to be like? And which of these two paths is going to get me there? We have some new opportunity presenting itself. And that opportunity is tied to Four of Cups. This is more Cancer energy. This is an energy of not being fully emotionally happy or content with what's right in front of you. So much so that there's daydreaming going on about this other cup, this other thing that I believe might lead me to my happiness if I had it, only I don't quite have it. The 3 cups that are in the front is what the person's not happy with. And the 3 cups can represent a couple of things. It can represent being together, being united and celebrating. The 3 cups, so in that case, that would be, I'm not really fully happy when we're together. And I've got this new opportunity, this other, probably another person that I can't stop thinking about. This can also represent the 3 cups being a third party love triangle here, because there are 3 cups of love there. And it could be a case where I can't get that other person out of my mind. It could be a case where your intuition is screaming at you and you can't quit thinking about something like that. I have the 8 of Cups right behind it. This is Pisces energy. This is emotionally detaching and then physically detaching and walking away. The person on the card is walking away from 8 full cups of love because they think there's something better out there for them. So a lot of times this will represent your person thinking the grass might be greener on the other side of the fence. So they got to go find out if it is. I got a new opportunity. I'm not fully happy. I can't quit thinking about that person. And maybe they're taking off to go find out if it's better over there. As advice for you, this card would be like recognizing that 8 cups is the best I'm going to get here. Doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. It just means that there's something missing for you too. And if you want your 9th cup, your own personal happiness, if you want the real 10 of Cups where I'm pouring my love into this person and they're pouring their love back into me with the same intensity that I'm doing it, and it's equal and we're both fully happy and fully content. If you want that, you're not getting it here, and it's probably not going to happen. And this is about recognizing that and making the conscious, difficult choice to walk away from what you have, to go down a new path, to find your happiness, to find that ninth and 10th cup. So there's the elements here of what looks like both of you not fully happy in a connection and a new opportunity showing up. Probably your person walking away to go explore that opportunity. When I clarify Two of Cups, I get King of Wands, Nine of Wands, Eight of Swords, the High Priestess again, the Tower, and the Seven of Pentacles. This is double the number of clarifiers. And I said when the cards were all trying to get away, that's a sign there's a lot going on below the surface, and clearly there is. King of Wands is Leo energy, can sometimes be Sagittarius energy. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows exactly what they want. Not typically the dude who's going to take no for an answer. This is a go-getter, driven, motivated kind of a person. Usually I'm going to find a way to get what I want, or I'm going to make a way to get what I want. But it is also the top tier of the wand suit, and the wand is the phallic symbol of the deck. It's about passion, desire, sexual energy. This is someone who's very driven and motivated by that. And then I have the Nine of Wands, Sagittarius energy. This is a card of being walled off and defensive. It's also an energy of healing. This is the wounded warrior. He's got a bandage on his head, and he's built this wall around himself as a way to protect himself so he doesn't get hurt anymore. He doesn't want to be hurt. He's trying to heal so he can get his energy right and take the next step in his journey. This usually represents someone's walls coming up out of defensiveness, or someone's walls coming up because they got hurt. It's in the shared energy, so it's affecting you both here. Sometimes this can just represent someone has placed a barrier in the way. They've put a wall in the way. Next, I have the Eight of Swords. This is Gemini energy of thinking about something over and over again on this repeating loop in your mind, feeling stuck and trapped and blocked, not wanting to make a mistake and do the wrong thing, but not really being sure what to do. The person's blindfolded, which means that I'm missing some information here. I've got these open loops. I've got these blanks in the sentences, and I don't really know how to fill in the blanks. So I'm grinding on it over and over again, trying to figure out how to close these loops, trying to figure out what pieces of info I'm missing. And I'm feeling stuck because I don't know everything, and I don't know what to do, and I don't want to make a mistake. Next is the High Priestess. We already saw that here as the overall energy. Now it's showing up again. I'm using two different decks, and I've got the High Priestess in both decks. So that is someone's intuition screaming at them, trying to get their attention, probably telling you something that you don't really want to hear. Clearly you don't have the facts. That's what the blindfold is telling me. The Tower is here too. This is the collapse of some important structure in your lives. This is a foundation rocking event. This is that moment where after this point, nothing's the same after that. It's when it all comes crashing down. It all goes to hell in a handbasket. Sometimes that will represent the collapse of the connection, the collapse of the relationship. Sometimes it represents the collapse of the belief system that you have about it, that mental model of the world that you're operating from, that maybe said that this person's the one for you. Something has happened to shatter either the relationship itself or the belief system about the relationship. And I think you probably intuitively feel that long before you have the information that you need. Final clarifier for the Two of Cups is the Seven of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. This is a period of time. It can be a period of time for one of two reasons. Either A, it's a period of time where we're pausing to reflect and take stock of this connection, take stock of this whole situation that we're in. And it's about trying to decide if these seeds that we've planted are ever going to grow into the 10 of Pentacles that we really want. Is this worth me continuing to invest my time, my effort, and my energy into it? Or is this a spot where maybe it's not going to pan out the way I want it to, and maybe it's time for me to cut my losses and move on? So it can be that period of time where we're contemplating that kind of stuff. Can also represent a period of time where the seeds have already been planted on something. And if you think about, like, if you go plant an apple seed right now, you're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and get apples. There's a big lag time from when you plant a seed until it grows and fully develops and blossoms and ripens, and then you can harvest it and get the rewards out of it. Well, this can represent that period of time, that lag time going by. Now, it might be a period of time since we've had a collapse here, and maybe you still don't have information. This could also just be saying there's been a period of time where something has been brewing in the background, a period of time where maybe you felt something going on, maybe a period of time where there's a choice about this connection or a choice about two different people. Maybe a period of time where I've been stuck in my head, where walls have been up, a period of time where somebody's basically thinking with the wrong head. It could be that. I will freely admit to you, at the early stage of these readings, it is not uncommon whatsoever that I don't fully understand what that shared energy is trying to tell me. I normally won't fully get it until I get part of the way through your energy. I'll come back to it again as I go through your person's energy, because then I can see how it applies to them too. But that's the shared energy in this connection. Your energy, Sagittarius, first card is the most important. We get the Ten of Cups. Central for you is the Sun. And the final card for you is the Two of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups. This is Pisces energy. This is the happily ever after card. The happy fairy tale romance, the happy fairy tale ending, the happy fairy tale love connection that we all dream about. This is the card that gets more of us in trouble than any other energy in the whole deck. And it's because of that fairy tale component of it. We all want that happily ever after so bad that it's what leads us to ignore our intuition when it's telling us stuff we don't want to hear. Because if what my intuition is saying is true, then this happily ever after thing that I want can't be true. And I want that to be true. It tells you stuff you don't want to hear. There's a tower out here. If something has come crashing down, then this happily ever after can't be true. I'm getting way ahead of myself, and I hate doing that, but your person also has the tower in their energy. They also have the Five of Swords as their central energy, which is usually betrayal. I've got a choice about the connection, a choice between lovers, a new opportunity showing up. Now, none of that sounds like the real happily ever after, happy fairy tale romance thing to me. And just the fact that you're here watching a tarot love reading, looking for, information and insight about what's really going on in your connection, looking for guidance about your connection, just the fact that you're here is proof that you don't actually have the Ten of Cups with the person. And more often than not, when I get this card, it's not telling me that what you have is the happily ever after. It's normally talking to me about the idealized point of view. In other words, I'm looking at this connection for how I want it to be instead of how it actually is. So I'm going to clarify that and see what I have here. What's going on with this Ten of Cups, please? Why is that the first card? Sagittarius in November. Felt like we had one flip down here. See, I'm still getting that same dynamic. Normally, cards just shoot out all over the place, and it's feeling like work to get the cards out here. Okay. What's underlying this Ten of Cups is the Four of Cups. Again, this is Cancer energy. This is not being fully emotionally happy or content with what you have in front of you, and daydreaming about this other cup, this other thing that might make you happy. Again, if you have the real Ten of Cups, not only would you not be here watching a tarot love reading, you would just be out living the happy life and pouring your love into them, and they'd be pouring their love into you, and you would have absolutely zero need or use for what I'm doing. This would be the farthest thing from your mind right now. You can't really have the Ten of Cups for real if you're not fully happy and content with what you have. Now, this could be I'm not happy in this connection and I'm thinking about something else. This could be talking to me about you're viewing it as the 10 of cups and your person's not really happy and content in this connection and they got somebody else on their mind. This could even be there's been a third party involved here and now I can't get that other person out of my head. I got the Hierophant right behind that. Taurus major arcana energy. This is commitment. This is being fully committed to something bigger than yourself. In a relationship reading, that's almost always being fully committed to the relationship. This is one of those cards that gets referred to as a marriage card, although it doesn't necessarily have to be legally married. I did mention husband energy here, 3 cards deep in the overall energy, and the 1 card for your person I haven't shown you, I might as well show you. 10 of Pentacles, which that's the combined together life. I get that card for people when they're married, when they live together, when they're going down that kind of a path. So it's possible that you're married to this person and there's some not being fully satisfied with the marriage or just the commitment. And right behind the commitment is the Hanged Man. Pisces energy of progress being halted, no forward movement happening, things are stuck, they're at a dead stop, dead standstill. The Hanged Man hangs upside down because he's trying to look at things from a different point of view than he would normally look at things from. Normally, we do that when everything we've tried so far isn't working, and now I'm trying to look at it a different way. This is at its core about trying to figure out, okay, what has me stuck? What out here has me stuck? What adjustments do I need to make to things so I can get unstuck and move forward the way that I want to? This is a really similar energy to the Hermit in that at their core, they're both about trying to figure out what do I do moving forward from here. The difference is in where their focus is placed. The Hermit is looking inside of himself for what adjustments do I make about me so I can move forward the way I want. And the Hanged Man is looking externally at things. Things are outside of us. So this is looking for what's the problem out here that's got me stuck, and not looking for what's the problem in here that has me stuck, or in here for that matter. Now, sometimes that could tell me that the problem in this connection, the problem with this not moving forward the way you want it to, the problem with the commitment, the not being happy part, is external to you. Could be your person. Could be this telling me that that's how they feel, while you feel 10 of Cups. Could also be telling me that there's this idea of looking outside of you for what the problem is and not looking inside of you for what the problem is. A lot of times when that's the case, like I get a lot of people sending me emails, a lot of people sending me DMs on social media, asking me things like, what crystal should I buy to make him come back? Or they're looking for like, what love spell should I have someone do to make him come back? But that's all like external stuff. Like there is no crystal that's going to fix a person and make them come back. We all have free will. And so like this is usually looking outside of me for what the problem is that needs fixed. And if the problem is outside of me, well then the solution must be outside of me. But really the solution is almost always internal, not external. And this is external focus. When I clarify this 10 of Cups, I get the 6 of Swords, the 2 of Swords, and the 8 of Cups again. 6 of Swords is Aquarius energy. This is about moving forward into calmer waters. It's about leaving these rough, choppy waters of the past behind, moving into the future toward what I want. This card comes after the 5 of Swords, which I already let the cat out of the bag and told you that's your person's central energy. That's betrayal. That's like mental and psychological, painful situation or event. At the 6 of Swords, the 5 has already happened. It's in the past at this point, and we can't change the past. The only thing we have any power over is what we do moving forward into the future. And this card is about moving away from that painful thing that's already happened, leaving it behind you and moving forward. But when we move forward, there's an implied choice that we have. And that choice is, do I carry the burden that this painful thing has caused me into my future with me, so it keeps weighing me down and holding me back? Or do I carry forward the lesson I learned by going through this painful thing? That way I carry the lesson forward with me and nothing like that's going to happen again. So there's that implication here, but this is a moving away from kind of an energy. And it's clarifying the 10 of Cups, this idea of a happily ever after, this ideal fairy tale romance thing. And a painful thing has happened in there. That might be what this tower is talking about. It might be that something has happened to shatter that belief that this is the happily ever after I've always dreamt of. Maybe this is the person has left this happily ever after, or maybe this is you moving on afterwards. The real thing to consider is, are you going to carry the burden that the belief in this has caused you, and let the belief, this idealized fantasy view of it, looking at it for how you want it to be instead of how it actually is, are you going to let that continue on and keep weighing you down? Or are you going to learn something from this as you move forward so it doesn't keep you stuck? I don't know if you've made that choice yet, because the Two of Swords is next. This is Libra energy. This is a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet for some reason. And again, the person on the card is blindfolded. That's the second blindfold that I've seen, which is another reference to, I don't have all of the information available to me. I've got your high priestess, your intuition out here telling you stuff you probably don't want to hear, which is another thing that the blindfold can mean. First, it can mean I don't have enough info to make this decision yet. I don't have enough info to be able to actually leave this behind and move on. It could also represent blinders that a person is wearing. In other words, there's a piece of this that I just don't want to see. I don't want to look at it. I don't want it to be true. And I don't necessarily have the facts to support it, but I know, I can feel it. I just don't want that to be true. So I'm going to ignore it. And I'm going to keep my head buried in the sand and not decide. Like the denial of something, the refusal to face it, can stop us from making a decision. And then we have the Eight of Cups. So stopping you from making the decision of moving on, stopping you from making the decision of detaching from this emotionally, and then physically walking away. Recognizing that 8 cups is the best I've ever gotten here. And 8 cups isn't good enough. You deserve more than 8 cups. You deserve your 9th cup, your own personal happiness, being happy and whole and content in and of yourself. You deserve the real 10 of cups, like the real person that when you're pouring your love into them, they pour their love back into you because they want to. And it's emotionally equal. We're both putting into this, and we're all happy and we're all content and we all feel fully loved. You don't have that here. And again, it's probably something you don't want to look at. And don't get me wrong, I don't blame you. I've been in that spot myself before in the past, which is how I know what it feels like. It's how I can recognize it when I see it out here. So I'm not judging you. None of us want to hear that the person has betrayed us. None of us want to hear that it's actually over, and it's either been over for a while or the end has been brewing for a while. None of us want that. And we all eventually get stuck in that loop, grinding on it, trying to figure it out, maybe even get defensive about it at times because we want that 10 of cups so bad. We have so much desire for that. It's like, I refuse to accept no for an answer. I refuse to accept that this isn't my 10 of cups, even though I'm not happy. Very good potential that there's another person involved. Haven't seen the choice between lovers, the choice between two connections, betrayal in the center of their energy. Central for your energy, Sagittarius, is the Sun. This is a Leo major arcana card. This is the happiest card in the deck. It's happiness, joy, bliss, harmony. Really hard to get a better card than that in a relationship reading when that's what it's talking about. Now, in the happiness sense, it could be saying that you have all of your happiness tied to this person, to this connection. If you look at our solar system, the sun is in the center of it, and all the planets are in orbit around the sun because it has all the gravity and we're all stuck in its orbit. So this could be, this connection has a lot of gravity, especially if you felt like they were the one, or you've let some of this fake spirituality YouTubers convince you that this person's your twin flame. Hope to God you haven't. I've written 3 books on twin flames and exposed the whole thing. I'll put the link for you in the description in the pinned comment, just in case that applies to you. The other thing the sun can represent, besides feeling like there's all this happiness attached to it, feeling like it's like I'm in the orbit of this, is it's the card that comes after the moon in the sequence of the major arcana. And when the moon's out, it's dark outside. Things get hidden in the dark. There's stuff I can't see. It can represent secrets being kept. And the next step is the sun comes out, and now it's not dark anymore. So whatever was being hidden in the dark, being kept secret, gets illuminated. It gets the light shined on it and exposed, and then it can be seen. Tell me about the sun, please. Why is that central for Sagittarius' energy in this connection for November 2025? Underlying the sun, judgment. This is the most powerful decision card in the deck. It's about passing a final verdict in judgment on something. In a relationship reading, this has one of 2 meanings. Either A, this is dead and over with and there is no coming back from it, I'm calling it dead. B is it can represent resurrection, reconciliation. You can see the angel is playing on a horn and the dead are rising. She's calling the dead back to life, raising them from the grave. So this can be resurrecting something, or wanting to, because I have all this happiness. It could just as easily be the light got shined on something and it exposed it to me, and now I'm calling it dead and over with. Could even mean maybe that your person called it dead and over with, and you have all of this happiness and happily ever after tied to it. Either way, I have the 9 of Cups next, Pisces energy. This is a step backwards from the 10 of Cups we just looked at. And I realize that everyone's goal seems to be the 10 of Cups. In reality, the 9 of Cups should be the goal, because the only way to get to the real 10 of Cups is you have to be in the 9 of Cups first. This is just not just personal happiness and wish fulfillment. It's about being emotionally whole and emotionally happy and content in and of myself. It's about not requiring some external person to show up and, quote, make you happy, or not requiring an external person to show up to make you whole. Happiness comes from inside of us, not outside of us, which is kind of the danger of the Hanged Man that I was alluding to. It's also the danger of tying all of your happiness to another person. If all of my happiness is tied to you and you leave, well, guess what? You just took my happiness with you, and now I'm fucked. Now what am I supposed to do? Because all my happiness is wherever the heck you went to. This is supposed to be about being whole and happy in and of yourself. And again, like, another person can't actually make you happy. For example, you can't make me happy, because happiness is really just a chemical that we create in our bodies, and that chemical has an impact on our brains and how we feel. So you can't make me happy because you're not attached to my endocrine system. I actually generate the chemicals for being happy. Now, what we typically do when we get screwed up here and we put all of our happiness on some other person is they come around, and while they're around us, we generate those happy chemicals ourselves, but we give them credit for, quote, making us happy, when actually we made ourselves happy and we just attached it all to them and gave them credit for it, blamed it on them, so to speak. When you're in the 9 of Cups and you legit don't need someone else to be happy, and you don't need someone else to be whole, because you understand my happiness comes from inside of me. I already am whole. That's another part of the whole twin flame bullshit that is complete bullshit, that they will have people believe that your soul is only half of a soul. And it requires the other half, which just happens to be in another person that lives in the same area as you. And like, do you see how illogical and disempowering that is? The twin flame ideology literally tells you you're not whole. You're only half of a soul, and you require this other person in order to become whole and happy. And also, logically, if you think about it, there's 8 billion plus people on this planet. Everyone I've ever talked to that believes they're in the twin flame thing is in a twin flame relationship with someone who lives in the same damn town as them or a couple of towns away. Like, really, what are the odds of that? If your soul did get cut in two and half of it went in your body and half of it went in someone else's body, what are the fucking odds that it's going to be someone in the same geographic vicinity? That's mind-bogglingly illogical to me. But when you are in the real Nine of Cups, you're projecting a complete absence of lack into the universe. You're basically saying, I don't need anything. I'm whole. I'm totally great by myself. And that's when it mirrors back to you another person who is already in the 10 of Cups. And now if you're in the 9 of Cups, if you're in the 9 of Cups and I'm in the 9 of Cups and we don't need each other, but I'm pouring all my love into you anyway, and you're pouring all your love into me anyway, that overflows the cups. And that is how you get to the 10. That overflow is what fills the 10th cup. You can't be in a 10 of Cups relationship unless you are already in the 9 of Cups. And your other person also has to already be in the 9 of Cups. If they're only in the 8 of Cups, the only way they can get to the 9 is to siphon emotions off of you and fill themselves up, which drains you back to the 8. That's how you get one of those up and down, rocky relationships that never goes where you want it to. There's some major decision being passed here. And either that decision left you emotionally single, emotionally by yourself, or your person's own personal happiness and wish fulfillment is what got this called dead and over with. Now, this could just as easily be, this is the happily ever after, or I believe it is, and I don't want to face the reality of it, and I've got all my happiness tied to it, the Sun and the 9 of Cups. And the decision for you might be to try to resurrect this. But again, the Tower's here. Walls are in the way. There's a choice between lovers. There's a choice between two different connections. Your intuition is screaming at you. And there's been a period of time where things have not been right. Final clarifier here in the energy underlying the Sun is the Fool, and this is the first card of the major arcana, the first card of the whole tarot deck. This is about a new beginning at something, and it's a new beginning where I don't really know what the steps are. I don't know what the end result is going to be. This is just taking the blind leap of faith anyway. It's about leaping off the cliff and worrying about how to grow wings on the way down. It's like, screw it, I'm just going to go for it and I'll figure it out as I go. Now, that can represent you're ready to take the leap of faith in trying to resurrect this because you've got all your happiness tied to it. Could just as easily be your person has called this dead and over with because their happiness is more important than yours, at least according to them. And maybe they're taking a blind leap of faith on a new connection and you feel it, but you don't see it yet. This can also represent foolish behavior, foolish decision making, taking unnecessary risks, or even risks outside of the connection based on my own personal happiness and my own personal jollies. I think that's what's going on here based on what I'm seeing. When I clarify the Sun, I get the Emperor, the King of Pentacles again, and the Knight of Swords. The Emperor is the Aries Major Arcana card. This is an energy of control. It's about taking control, taking charge of a situation. This is someone who has all the tools and resources they need to put together a plan to get what they want and then execute the plan to get what they want. This is the person who's calling the shots. They're making the rules. They're setting the boundaries. And your happiness is attached to them. And it looks like there's this idea of trying to move forward, leaving something behind and moving forward, but running back into them again. Maybe they're blocking you from leaving. Maybe every time you try to move forward, you want to move forward toward them. Like in that case, that would be like leaving the painful thing behind, which sometimes that means, okay, they did a bunch of bad stuff to me and hurt me. So let's just leave that in the past and forget about it, and let's move forward together anyway. But that rarely works. The other thing could mean that what's really the burden that's weighing you down and holding you back, the thing that really needs left behind, might actually be your person. Like the emperor puts together the plan to get what they want, and then they execute the plan to get what they want, and happiness is tied to them. But I got this King of Wands in the shared energy, person who knows what they want and ain't going to take no for an answer. Very driven, motivated, and determined, but also very driven by passion and desire. Then I get the King of Pentacles again, which is 3 cards deep here. Husband energy, it's Taurus energy. That's tied to this emperor, so I believe your person is the one actually in control of your happiness right here. And they might even be crossing the line from being in control to being controlling and overbearing and stuff like that. But it's this King of Pentacles is sitting right beside the Two of Swords, a decision that needs made, only it hasn't been made. So that might be telling me that from your point of view, it's their decision and not yours, and you might feel like your hands are tied. But that's not really true, because you have free will. You have the power of choice. It's just going to require you to take the blindfold off and look at some stuff about them that maybe you don't want to face. The final clarifier for the Sun is the Knight of Swords. This is the fastest moving knight in the deck. This is very fast forward movement. It's making this decisive action on something. Usually it's something that wasn't thought through first. This is normally the person who just rushes off and does something and they didn't think about it in advance. They don't usually think about it until after they've already done it, at which point it's too late. That energy is tied to your person. And it's also tied to this idea of detaching emotionally, detaching physically, going off to see if the grass is greener on the other side. Final card for you, Sagittarius, 2 of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy. Again, 2s are choices. This is a choice between these 2 physical things, and I can't have both of them at the same time. So it's this one or that one. Do I? Don't I? Are we getting back together? Are we not getting back together? So it's some choice like that where the mind isn't all the way made up. This is like 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of an energy, like undecided. I'm still weighing my options kind of an energy. This card can sometimes represent a person who's juggling 2 people. See what's going on with this 2 of Pentacles. Why is that the final card? Underlying the 2 of Pentacles, the Hanged Man. Progress is halted, no forward movement. Again, this is about being focused externally on what out here has this stuck, but not being focused internally. It's very rare in life that a problem just shows up in the external world that we didn't first create in the internal world. Like, for example, you ever go to someone's house and their house is just a fucking disaster? That's an external manifestation of the mess that's internal for them. It just projects itself outside. So there's some element of this that is, yes, stuck. It might be you weighing your options about, do I stay or do I go? Is this really over or not? I see this stuck in the head. But see, when you got all this mental energy there, it's really hard to hear your intuition then. The intuition is soft and quiet, and it doesn't scream, and it doesn't get all animated and like loud. The 8 of Swords is really loud. That's like way too much thoughts. That's where I'm not in control of my thoughts. My thoughts are running the show right now. And it's really hard to tell the difference then. It's hard to hear your intuition to begin with, but even when you do hear it, it's hard to tell the difference between What's my intuition versus that fear voice in the back of my head? Or just as bad, what's my real intuition versus that fantasy voice in my head? And I can't tell them apart right now. Maybe that's what this is about. Which one of these is real? Which one do I listen to? But I'm getting the feeling that that's probably your person juggling two people just as much as it is you being, I can't make up my mind and things aren't moving. You know, what's not moving is this commitment and taking it any farther than that. And then I have the Queen of Swords right behind it. This is Libra energy. This is she who knows the truth. I said at the beginning, the High Priestess is she who knows, period. She sits in front of the veil of consciousness. So she's got access to all the information you and I as human beings don't have access to. She literally knows everything, sees everything. She doesn't tell us everything. Sometimes there's stuff we're not meant to know. Sometimes there's stuff we don't need to know until it's time for us to know. And that's when she clues us in through the intuition and the gut feelings and the dreams that have messages, that internal knowing. This is she who knows the truth. The Queen of Swords is. Notice her head is above the clouds. The clouds can represent the clouded judgment, like the things being obscured so I can't see it. Her head's above that. She knows what's going on. The reason she holds her hand out like that is because she's offering to let someone tell their side of the story. Go ahead, speak your truth. She already knows the truth. And when the truth they tell her doesn't match the truth she knows, it's off with your head. That's what the sword's for. She's an energy of discernment, like being able to tell the difference between what's real and what's not. She's also an energy of facing the truth, speaking the truth, and then cutting off the thing or the person that isn't in your best interest anymore. That's sitting right behind the commitment that's stuck and not moving. There's some decision you're going back and forth about here. And when I clarify that Two of Pentacles, I get Four of Cups again, Strength, and the Ten of Pentacles. Four of Cups, again, Cancer energy. I'm not fully happy or content with what's in front of me, and I got this other thing on my mind that might make me happy. Maybe I'm not happy because we're not together, and that's what's on my mind. Maybe we got a third party involved, and I can't get that bitch out of my head. It's something like that. Really, it might be your person that's sitting right beside the Emperor. It might be them that's not happy. And when they are together with you, they're daydreaming about someone. Next is Strength. This is a Leo Major Arcana card. So I've got two Leo Major Arcana cards out here. Let's see. I've got some Taurus, some Aries, Cancer, I've said a few times, Capricorn, Pisces, Aquarius, Libra, Pisces again, some Virgo, some more Cancer, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini. I realize I've probably named all the signs at this point. You could be dealing with any sign. This is a collective reading, so it's going to be impossible for me to pin down exactly who you specifically are dealing with, because I'm not tapping into your specific energy as an individual person like I would if I was doing a personal reading with you and it's just you and me one-on-one. I'm tapping into tens of thousands of Sagittarius people all at the same time right now. So I'm just going to keep calling these signs out for you just in case they mean anything to you. But this is Leo energy. And this represents going through a very difficult situation that's requiring all of your internal strength in order to make it through it. You have the strength to make it through it. You're just going to be forced to dig down inside yourself and find that strength and tap into it and put it to use. Now, another thing that it can represent, that lion can represent our internal urges and desires and impulses that we have. And the lady in the white gown represents your conscience, like the part of you that knows better, that knows right from wrong. And she's trying to tame that beast to stop it from making a mistake. So this can represent trying to tame that beast inside yourself, trying to rein yourself in and hold that part of yourself back so you don't make a mistake here. And it could also represent that that's what your person was doing. Like they weren't happy and they're trying to maintain control of themselves. It is sitting right beside this King of Pentacles here. Could be that they were trying to rein that piece of themselves in and maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you didn't want to see it. But this Two of Pentacles is feeling a lot like juggling two people here, because I'm not happy. And ultimately, like, that lady is going to lose against the lion every single time. Like, I don't know exactly how much lions weigh, but probably a good 600, 700, 800 pounds or so. Ain't no way a little lady is going to contain that thing forever. Whenever that lion wants to do something, it's going to do it, and she can't stop it. So most of the time, this represents that internal struggle where we're trying to contain this part of ourselves, but we can't, and we ultimately lose. Final clarifier for the Two of Pentacles is the Ten of Pentacles, Virgo energy. This is maximum stability, abundance, and prosperity. It's everybody's goal in the physical reality, combined together lives, building a life together. I've got the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups as your very first card, the Ten of Pentacles as your final card. That's like the happily ever after emotionally, the best it can get physically, where we've combined lives together. I get that for people when they're married or when they live together or they're going down that path. And again, that's the first card in your person's energy we'll get to next. I read this in columns and I connect it in rows as I go along. In this bottom row, we've got emotionally detaching and walking away from a combined together life. And in the middle of that is this spur of the moment, spontaneous, impulsive, reckless decision maker that just runs off and does something without thinking about it first. And that is connected to the card that represented your person here in the energy. Like, you having some intuitive hit about either a choice about this connection or a choice between two lovers, and it's tied to them. And the next card is a choice about what do I want. Notice it's a wand card, passion, desire, phallic symbol, possibly making their choices not based on their head or their heart, but based on their wand. That's your energy in this connection for November 2025, Sagittarius. Let's look at your person here. For them, the first card's the most important. Ten of Pentacles, central for their energy. Five of Swords. Final card is the Tower. The Ten of Pentacles, we just covered that. This is Virgo energy. It's combined together life, building a life together. This looks to me like you guys either were married or lived together. What's going on with the Ten of Pentacles, please? Why is that first card for Sagittarius person here in November 2025? Make me go one more. It's fine. What do we got here? Yeah. Underlying the Ten of Pentacles. The Hanged Man. I keep seeing the Hanged Man with the Hierophant. The thing that is halted is the commitment, the marriage, however that applies to your specific situation. No movement is happening. And again, this is an externally focused energy. And look what's right behind it again. The Hierophant again. You've seen me shuffle this how many times now, and it keeps coming up the same way. Again, this is externally focused. A lot of times, this will be someone who views the problem as outside of me. It's not inside of me. I have zero reason to look inside myself because I'm 100% convinced the problem is you. The problem is this other person. There's something that is to blame, and it ain't me. That's how they're viewing it. Also viewing it that this combined together life is stuck. This commitment is stuck. And there's the Queen of Swords in the background. There's the seeing the truth, the speaking the truth, the cutting off a thing or a person that isn't in their best interest anymore. A lot of times this is a difficult conversation where truth gets spoken and it might come out cutting, especially when I got Knight of Swords out here too. There's usually a severing that happens here. Also, an element of seeing the truth. And that could apply to you as well as to them. When I clarify Ten of Pentacles, I get the Fool, Page of Swords, Queen of Wands. Again, the Fool is taking that blind leap of faith on some new beginning. Just going for it. I know I'm in a commitment, so I'm taking foolish risks outside the connection. I'm just going for it. That is how you get to the spot where there's a choice between two different cups of love, a choice between two different lovers. It's possible that this has been happening for a while. The next clarifier for Ten of Pentacles is the Page of Swords. This is an energy of someone who's trying to learn something or figure something out. Now, this can represent spying on them. This can represent scoping out their social media pages, rooting through their phone, digging for information, investigating, researching, things like that. Help, what I'm doing right now qualifies as Page of Swords because I'm digging through all of your energy, trying to figure out what the hell's going on between the two of you. This can represent an external person who knows both of you and maybe saw them doing foolish behavior, and maybe they came and reported it to you. This usually represents either looking for information or uncovering information, whether it's on purpose or by accident. I've seen this play out before where the lady is throwing her husband's pants in the washing machine and something falls out of his pocket and she picks it up and it's a motel receipt. Only she didn't go to the motel with him. So it could be anything like that. But it's an energy of someone looking at the foolish behavior or investigating foolish behavior. Hell, it might just be that your intuition has told you something and you can't get what it's told you out of your head. And maybe you went looking for it. What's concerning is what you find, or what gets found out, is this Queen of Wands. This is usually Aries or Leo energy. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person that knows what she wants. It's usually a very charming, good-looking, attractive energy. Somebody who's fun to be around. It's the counterpart to this King of Wands that's the first card in the shared energy clarifiers. These are the passion and desire counterparts, the sexual energy counterparts. 9 times out of 10, this represents the other woman. Now, I realize you're a fire sign. This could be saying you know what you want, and that's to find out what the hell is really going on. Find out if your intuition is telling you the right thing or not. And maybe you find out that there's another woman. It could be any of those things. So take that part however it fits for you. Just don't do the dumb thing that you hear so many readers say, which is take what resonates and leave the rest behind. That is the, I won't say the worst advice, because when they try and convince you that you're in a twin flame relationship, that's probably the worst advice. But this whole take what resonates and leave the rest behind is terrible ass advice. That's the equivalent of selective hearing. Like, doesn't it drive you nuts when you talk to somebody and the only thing they hear is the part they want to hear and they ignore the rest of it? Take what resonates and leave the rest behind is literally telling you, ignore anything that doesn't fit the fantasy that you want. Ignore anything that doesn't fit the idealized view that you want. And when people do that, what they hear is 10 of Cups, happily ever after, the Sun, happiest card in the deck, and they ignore the Tower and the 5 of Swords and the other woman and the not being happy and the juggling 2 people and the detaching. And they ignore everything, that it's stuck. They ignore everything that doesn't validate what they want to hear. And then tarot loses all of its power. It loses all of its ability to act like a mirror for you so you can see the reflection of where things actually are and make the appropriate decisions. When you cherry pick only what you want to hear, very unhelpful. It's like not only a waste of time to engage with tarot if that's what you're going to do, it actually keeps people stuck. So when I say take that piece however it fits your situation, I don't mean throw it out the window if you don't want to hear it. That's not what I'm saying. Especially with this card, central to your person's energy is the 5 of Swords, Aquarius energy. This is, 5s are conflict, so this is a big fight that ends things. It could be a betrayal, it usually is, especially if we've got another woman involved, and a choice between lovers, and a choice between 2 different connections, and a catastrophe happening here that looked like it was brewing in the background for a while. Someone juggling 2 people. This is probably betrayal. At its core, This is a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event happening. It can even be someone who has this winning at all costs attitude. Like, I'm going to get what I want, and if you get hurt, sorry, but I'm getting what I want. That's exactly the kind of behavior you would expect from the emperor, the person who is in control. It's the kind of behavior you would expect from someone who has that skewed version of the Nine of Cups. Like, my happiness is more important than yours. I'm going to get what I want, even if you happen to get hurt. So I'm going to clarify Five of Swords. Why is that central for Sagittarius' person? I don't read reversals, but that one doesn't want to let me flip it right side up. So I'm going to leave it upside down until I get there, just so I remember to tell you. Underlying this Five of Swords, probably betrayal energy, is the Moon. Now, this can sometimes be fear, worry, and anxiety from uncertainty. But this is also something being hidden in the dark, some secret being kept. Betrayal, other woman, choice between lovers. You don't have the facts. I've said that from the beginning when I saw, when I saw the High Priestess as the first damn card. The blindfold on the Eight of Swords, the High Priestess again, the blindfold on the Two of Swords. I don't think you had the facts. And I think it's because this person was betraying you and hiding it, keeping it secret. Yeah, the thing that's being kept secret is the Nine of Cups, their own personal happiness, their own wish fulfillment. This is someone's personal jollies. This is also someone, clearly, they're not single. 10 of Pentacles in both decks on both sides of the table. I've seen the Hierophant, the commitment, over and over and over again, and it's been stuck the whole time. And now I get my happiness is more important than your happiness. I'm going based on my personal jollies, not based on what my emotions say is best for both of us. Yeah, and their personal jollies, the thing they're hiding, keeping secret, is the Knight of Cups. Actions toward love and emotions, moving forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures, trying to advance a couple love in some way. That's the betrayal. When I clarify Five of Swords, I get the Two of Pentacles, the King of Cups, but it's in reverse, and the Eight of Wands. Two of Pentacles was your final card. This is Capricorn energy. A decision between these two physical things, and I can't have them both at the same time, and I got to pick her or you. This one or that one. Do I or don't I? A lot of times that will represent someone juggling two people, especially when it's connected to betrayal and secrets, and when it's got the Fool beside it. Like, I just took a blind leap of faith into a new beginning, and now I'm juggling two people and I can't pick between them. That takes me back to this Two of Swords. Sometimes this will show up when you're blindfolded. You don't have the facts right now, and the choice ain't even yours. It's their choice. They got to decide between two different people, you or her, and they're just not making the choice. They're refusing to choose. Probably because you don't know yet, so why would I have to choose? At this point in time, I can just keep on being foolish and juggling both of you, and I won't get rid of her until you find out. Or I won't get rid of you until you find out. However, that's going to play out here. And it looks like it actually already has played out. I've got the Tower as their next card, and the Tower is here, tied to something that your intuition was telling you that you probably didn't want to hear, which, again, not judging you, not blaming you whatsoever. I've been in that spot. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want it to be wrong. So I kept ignoring it, Turns out exactly what I thought was wrong was actually wrong, all the way down to the point where I knew what sign the person was, and I was dead right on that too. Off topic, it ain't about me. This is about your person. The next clarifier for the Five of Swords, King of Cups in reverse. Like I said, I don't read reversals. To me, there's no need to read reversals. I don't hang pictures on my wall upside down. I don't have my TV set upside down when I watch TV. I don't put pictures in my wallet upside down. there's no need to read them upside down because I usually tell you the positive and negative aspects of each card anyway. And to me, whether this is a positive or negative version is determined by the other cards in the vicinity of it and what I've seen so far in the energy. So King of Cups is usually Scorpio energy. It can sometimes be Pisces depending on how you view the court cards. But this is someone who you have a lot of love and emotions for. It's probably also someone that has emotions for you, but the King of Cups doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. He does not publicly broadcast how he feels about things, good or bad. He's got a completely expressionless face right here. So this is usually someone who's really hard to read. The water around his feet represents rough, choppy emotions, but you can't tell. So this can be a person who loves you and you don't really know if they do or not because they don't express it. It can be a person who's going through emotional turmoil of some kind and you don't know because they don't express it. Like you could be sitting next to this dude on the couch right beside him and have no idea something's wrong internally because he's good at hiding that. Even on this Two of Pentacles that it's connected to, look at the water in the background. These giant waves are tossing the boat around in the background. That also represents rough, choppy emotions, emotional turmoil here. Of course, because I'm betraying you and I'm keeping it a secret. Next, we have the Eight of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. This is the second fastest energy in the deck. It's even faster than this Knight of Swords over here. So whatever happened with this betrayal probably felt like it came out of left field for you. It probably felt like, what do you mean? Everything was fine on Monday and now on Tuesday, it's all went to hell in a handbasket. But that's not actually what happened because we see the collapse of it, a period of time tied to that, like waiting on that to fully develop. And we also have in that same little group a period of time where your intuition is telling you something's bad wrong here. And I think they were probably really good at keeping it from you. This Eight of Wands can represent, like I said, things feeling like it happens all at once. It can be really fast forward movement toward passion and desire, rapid progress on something passion, desire related. It can be rapid back and forth, passionate communications happening. It's connected to your person. It's also connected to this Queen of Wands, this person they have attraction and desire for. Could be a lot of communicating happening there. Hell, even the Page of Swords is a communication energy too. It's tied to your person and to the Queen of Wands. So looks like a lot of communication happening between them and physical juggling happening. This can represent like so much happening all at once that it's like overwhelming feeling. It's too much to process, especially if you believe that they're your happily ever after, and especially if you believe that this is the one for me. Final card in your person's energy, Saggy, is the Tower. Again, we've already seen that here in the shared energy, the collapse either of this relationship. This is the moment it all came crashing down. Could be the collapse of the belief system you have about the relationship. Why is the Tower the final card for Sagittarius' person of interest? Okay. I got two flip over in here. There's one and the other. All right. Underlying the Tower, the Hanged Man again. Progress is halted, yes, but this is externally focused. It's not me that collapsed this. It's something else's fault. Maybe they blame it on you, and it's your fault this fell apart. It's your fault I got another woman. It's your fault I was juggling two people. It's your fault I betrayed you. Hell, maybe they're even blaming it on her. Well, if she wouldn't have walked by me looking all hot and shit, well, then I wouldn't have did what I did. This is somebody who isn't accepting their role in the collapse of this. Playing the blame game, playing the helpless victim. And then there's she who knows the truth in the background. I'm hoping like hell that that's you that actually finally saw what was going on and knows the truth and finally got your head above all the clouds, all the stuff that was clouding this up for you. And I'm hoping like hell that you cut yourself down from being stuck on this person and being stuck on this connection by facing the truth and speaking the truth and cutting off what doesn't serve you, what isn't in your best interest. If not, this is your person severed the connection, and it wasn't my fault that it all fell apart. Yeah, I think they did sever the connection. We got that new physical, tangible opportunity here. That's what was underlying this Two of Cups shared energy at the very beginning. It was on the bottom of the deck. The new physical opportunity presents itself. This was stuck. It wasn't going where I wanted it to go. So I'm cutting this off and going with the new opportunity, hence collapse of the Tower. When I clarify the Tower, Six of Cups, Five of Pentacles, the World, Six of Wands. The Six of Cups is Scorpio energy of the past. This is thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past. This is also sometimes a history of something happening, a history of everything not going the right way and me blaming something else, a history of collapse here, history of betrayal. It's sitting right beside the Two of Pentacles. Could be a history of juggling two people, a history of taking foolish, unnecessary risks outside the connection, starting new things when I'm already in a combined together life with someone. Could be that this ain't the first time they've done you this way. This can also represent someone from the past coming back. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean this is someone that they used to be like romantically involved with before you, although it can mean that, especially when I got 10 of Pentacles there, combined together life, and husband energy here. And I've got husband energy right in the center of you, in your energy, tied to the person that's in control, which feels like them, and the person that's moving forward without thinking about stuff, tied to them. I don't see Queen of Pentacles anywhere. I've seen marriage energy with that Hierophant over and over and over again, and the Hanged Man with it, like a stuck marriage that's not moving. I've got husband out here twice, but no wife. Could be a case where this person is married and they were juggling you and wife at the same time. Could be that. And they keep telling you that they're not happy in their marriage, but then they can't find the strength to leave it. They won't make the decision to leave it. Could be that. Maybe wife found out about the other woman, which in this case could be you. You are a fire sign, so that could be you. Either way, this could be a person from the past. So that could be that they're already married, or they have an ex-wife and that person has come back. Could just be that this is telling me that this new opportunity they have isn't a brand new person, as in like it's not a stranger that they met and all this stuff happened. It's someone that they already have some sort of a history with. They already know them on some level. Maybe they work together. Maybe they went to school together. Maybe it's a friend of a friend. Who knows? There's just past energy here. I would be willing to bet, though, that this ain't the first time they've done something like this. Even if it is the first time they've done it to you, probably ain't the first time they've done it. Next card to clarify the Tower is the Five of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. Again, fives are conflict. This is abandonment. This is being cast aside, left out in the cold, discarded, walked away from. This is a breakup energy. It's also half of the 10 of Pentacles. Like when you leave a marriage or a combined together life, you don't walk away with all 10 Pentacles. You walk away with half of that. This is looking like breakup. And then there's this energy of trying to figure out the breakup, trying to figure out how to keep my emotions hidden while I juggle two people. Next, I have the World. the final card of the major arcana. This is the ending of one cycle and the beginning of the next cycle. In terms of zodiac signs, it's the 4 fixed signs: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. We got a tower, a breakup, and the ending of a cycle, and at the same time starting the next new cycle. Their very first card, their first clarifier, is the Fool. The first card of the major arcana, now the World, the last card. This is a completed cycle between the two of you from beginning to end, and this is them starting over on the next opportunity that they have. That next opportunity is probably that Queen of Wands person, the person they have the desire for. All this desire and passion, very fast moving. I do have 2 cards of travel right beside each other too, and this final card is also a card of travel. Even the Fool can be a card of travel. This Knight of Swords, the 6 of Swords, this could have been something that was happening during traveling. Maybe they had distance between them and this person and they had to go see them. Not 100% sure. What I do know is this is over according to their energy. And then we get 6 of Wands, Leo energy of recognition. This is being recognized for something. Sometimes that's a positive thing. It's like you're getting some recognition and getting patted on the back and in the spotlight, and everybody's got you up higher than them and celebrating you. That can be awesome. But more often than not, especially in this kind of a context, it's them getting recognized for something. Probably what the Sun is, exposing something. But it's also a card of moving forward successfully. So according to them, this is collapsed. There's this person from the past. There's this breakup and moving on. There's the ending of a cycle because it's stuck. And this is them moving forward toward what they desire. When I did this, you played by the rules. I got double the amount of clarifiers in the shared energy. You gave me 3 clarifiers for each of your cards. That's normally how it's supposed to work. I got 3 clarifiers, and 4. So they have 1 card over here that's got nothing to go with it. No information beside it whatsoever, other than they're moving forward successfully toward what they want.